Final match of this duel. Again, featured matchup. We talked about it in the open. Campbell from Ohio State and Richie Lewis for Rutgers.
Yeah, this is, DeLuca has given a great example here for Lewis to get out there and stay in this match. Of course, Campbell is favored by the rankings, okay, and Lewis has had a couple of losses to Alex Marinelli at 165, but that's not necessarily a bad loss because he's a real solid wrestler and doing a good job, having a good season. So Lewis looking to get back on track, and this is a good opponent to do it against, and Campbell.
Claimed the U23 world title, did Lewis in Poland, week of Thanksgiving. Maybe a little bit of a hangover after that, understandably so, but getting right back to work now, 6-2.
Well, I think he surprised a lot of people, and I wouldn't say surprised himself, but he's just surprised a lot of people how much making the team, and then also having that success at the world level is huge. And sometimes you come back from that, and the thing I noticed about him, he just was wrestling high. You know, he wrestled a guy like Marinelli. I saw both those matches, and he just seemed to be wrestling just a little bit high and really conscious about getting his head worked. But, you know, this is a little bit different match. You can already see that he's, you know, getting getting his elevation down a little bit here for Campbell.
6-2 the record, those two losses to Marinelli. Came back and beat Valencia of Arizona State to place third at the Midlands.
And Campbell had transferred into the program as well.
14-2. Came over from Pitt. Not overly offensive. He's got great defense. Again, common theme at Ohio State, really tough on top. One of the better turners in the country.
Yeah, and that's this weight class, you can get a lot of mileage if you've got, not a lot of guys are, you know, little hammers on top. But, well, your man from Missouri is pretty good in the top position. But a lot of guys are you know, takedown guys and not as effective there. So little differential, you can deal with the short match. There's no takedown. And so you wrestle Lewis. I mean, Lewis, it seems like he's had a hard time getting his attack rate going.
Yeah, this pace favors Campbell.
Yeah.
He wants to be stingy on his feet, rely on his mat work.
Yeah, working off the underhook is Lewis. He didn't feel comfortable there following up. First real shot of the match. Now he comes back into a snatch single the other side, works the head. But I agree with you, Shane. This is a tough draw for, you know, ranked wrestlers. Campbell's catching a guy that probably should be ranked a little bit higher. I mean, the rankings are the rankings. He's been beat a couple times, but
scoreless first.
This wouldn't be considered a huge upset if Lewis won.
Red takes defense.
So Lewis will go on bottom. And when Campbell came to Pitt, I think he came there in about June. They interviewed him. He'd be a good fit. He had a really good relationship with Coach Peters at Pitt, and then he resigned. And Tom Ryan spoke about his conditioning. It wasn't where it needed to be, and they got him on the bike. He said he rode more miles than most guys in the Tour de France.
Yeah, it was interesting to talk to Coach Ryan about, you know, you mentioned the heart rate and all that stuff. They monitored that quite a bit. Good escape by Lewis. That was critical, getting out in 14 seconds. So what you talked about is an advantage for Campbell in the top position. It hasn't played out. Now back on a shot. Good slide by there, but good work there by Lewis. You can see how athletic both these guys are. Now working a whizzer. He hips him over. Campbell back in it. Let's go. Now they're in an ankle pass situation. Now the danger zone was called, but Lewis did a nice job of getting beyond 90. And you can tell that Lewis is the one that's doing the work here. Now they called potentially dangerous, but boy, it would have been fun to see this action in the first period.
That was some great action, great scrambling here in the second period. That quick escape by Lewis, 1-0.
Guys are letting it go.
Halfway through this second period.
Campbell really impressed me. It looked like he was just squared up a couple times, and he was able to drop in, defend himself pretty well.
I like that underhook in that sequence.
It looked like Lewis was about ready to go over, and he adjusted really well to that, hipped in himself. So
And you can see Campbell, the power.
Yeah, and he's
Improve.
I could see he's about ready to go to a straight-on shot. I think right there, little head fakes. Inside 30. Be a good time to go for both guys.
Exactly, pull the trigger.
Yeah, they're less likely to do it if they can feel each other out with the ear-to-ear tie.
And both guys content to take the 1-0 score to the third period.
He takes defense.
Now Campbell will go on bottom. Campbell, Big Ten Wrestler of the Week. Earlier this season, when he beat Anthony Valencia of Arizona State 14-0. Again, really going to work on top in that match.
Yep, straight hands and feet, stand up there. Now he's going to go ahead and cut through with the leg, staying on his feet. Lewis felt that danger and pushed the hips away.
Didn't want any part of that one.
Yeah.
We're 1-1.
Stay out of the
Both
face.
guys trading escapes.
Again, now's the time to go. If you go, get on your offense right now. You've got as both these guys have been able to get out real quickly. You can get an escape, a takedown, and still win the match. So, even if you fail in getting a takedown, be the offensive guy right now early. Don't wait till the last 30 seconds where a guy knows you're coming. So, work hard in the ties. If you're Campbell, you want to operate in space, but get your feet moving, get yourself ready to shoot. That right arm comes up of Lewis. That's when you want to shoot. And if you're Lewis, close the space down a little bit.
Had that one great flurry, but for the most part, not a ton of action on their feet. Nobody's been in real danger. There's a hard snap and a shot from Lewis, but straight on. Now the pace is picked up.
Wow, that was amazing.
Counter shot from Lewis. He's got a single leg. Can he finish? 45 here in the third in the 1-1 match.
Wow, he got both legs.
2 takedown, Lewis.
Oh, what was so impressive about that sequence is not the fact that he got the finish there, but he did even better work when it looked like Campbell was going to go around him. He limped out of that and got into a shot of his own. That was 15 seconds of excellent wrestling. Both guys.
Wait for me. Bottom man set.
3-1.
Caution green.
There's a caution
My whistle,
on
buddy.
Campbell.
My whistle. Wait for me.
No
Pause
harm,
whistle,
no
fellas.
foul there.
Pause
I like
whistle.
the thinking. Why not?
Bottom man set. Cover.
Get that little edge. Right into a hook. Trying to peel hands. Lewis looking for a return. And he gets the return. Lewis fighting hard in the top position.
That's 1. That's 2.
You hear the count. Big return.
That's 1.
Big return, but you can see how dangerous Campbell is. I mean, it's a quality opponent, and big win for Lewis to get his season going again.
That takedown in the third period.
Wow. Another spin around.
They give him the 2.
Yes.
Richie Lewis, you said it, Jim. Maybe this is the match he needed to really vault him the rest of the season.
Well, he can look to his teammate DeLuca, who knew how to get this crowd inspired with the big move, and there's a couple of big moves there by Richie Lewis. Excellent work. That 15 seconds of wrestling on that first takedown was amazing.